guys, coming at you here on a Saturday, and I'm going to give you a quick update. Well, it's probably not going to be a quick one. This one might be a little lengthy, guys. I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can. If it gets too long, I'll put it in another, I'll split it up into two, because there's just a lot going on right now. Okay. So, let's start with, I guess, the last that I mentioned to you guys was I was at the nerve specialist, and she had referred me to a neurologist because she saw something in the MRI results that worried her, and they wanted to check it out and see if it is something that if it is what they thought it might be. Now, I didn't want to mention what this is because I didn't want people to worry too much about me and stuff like that. Until we had a full official diagnosis, but it looks like that's not going to happen anytime soon, and I'll explain why in a minute. And I'm going to need to mention this thing because there's no way of getting around it, so here we go. So when I went to go see the nerve specialist, she saw in the spine, in my neck area, that I have some what's called demyelination. And that is basically the lining on the inside of your spine. I think it's the lining around your nerves or something like that. It's supposed to be all dark in there. And she turned the screen around and you could see in mine that there was some white wispy bits coming through. And basically that's scarring or damage that's been done. And with that damage, that causes your nerves to get all messed up because they don't know what is going on anymore, because it's not the straight line that it used to be. Now it's oh gosh, there's something in the way. I got to do something about this. That is typically seen in in all cases of multiple sclerosis. So MS was a little bit scary to hear about. And we were headed in that, I figured we were headed in that direction because I looked it up and I was reading on it and it said, you don't see, basically there's not too much else that causes demyelination. So just from a quick Google search, I wasn't, I was expecting we were heading in that direction. And that could still be the case. We don't know for sure. So, like I said, she sent me off to the neurologist, and yeah, so it's out there now. That was the thing. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be dramatic, like I said. I just didn't want people to worry too much, and I know that word just the sound of it can be scary. I know some people that are diagnosed with MS. It's and they're okay. It's not the sentence that it used to be, kind of a thing. They've done lots of research on it, and there's I'm sure lots of treatments and things, and it just depends on the kind of MS that you have. So it was really up in the air on what we thought what was going on. So, but it was mentioned. Okay. So I go into the neurologist. I'm I have no idea what's going on. Let's go. Let's figure this out. I don't know what he's going to do. Blood tests, MRI, whatever. Let's figure this out. So I have my book with me with all of my stuff in it. And I was meticulous because I forget so much stuff. If you get me on the spot and you want me to start talking about stuff, my brain's going to go all over the place. I'm going to forget stuff. I'm going to it's just not going to work. So I had all of my notes, everything, all from the beginning of last year until now. I had all doctors' visits all in there, what we talked about. I didn't know exact dates and stuff on things, some of them. So I just kind of mid to late December, this is what happened. So yeah. And to think that all of this came from these two fingers not working well. I woke up on a camping trip and these two fingers were not working. Yeah, so, and I just want these fingers to work again. That's all I want. So I can go back to work and I can go back to normal. And, but other things have happened since then that have brought up the issue. So, see, I'm all over the place. I gotta look at my notes and I gotta keep in where we're at. So I go to see the neurologist. Tell him everything. Give him all my notes. Give him everything. Every single diagnosis I've had, every single medication that I take, my vitamins, everything. So, and he's talking really fast. I find doctors do that a lot and it really drives me crazy. So he's asking me questions and I literally don't even have time to process what he's asking me. And I'm I have to say, pardon, excuse me, what? Sorry? I just need you to slow the down for a second so I can understand what you're asking me. Thankfully, my partner was there with me and he was able to like interject a couple times and like, oh yeah, he said this. So that was fine. This guy was, I'm just going to say it, this guy was a dick. And I've had a lot of issues with doctors in my time of dealing with all this. And I'm going to say probably about 80% of them have been absolute dicks about it, about the whole thing. And it's really frustrating. And we'll talk more about that later if you guys want to talk about like the things that happened, because you know, it's important for people to know that this stuff does happen, and you don't have to deal with it alone. Other people have had the same experiences, and we can tell you about it, and we can tell you that it's not fun, and you're gonna have to deal with it, but it is what it is, because people, like, doctors are people too, right? Okay, so he's asking me, I'm like, how can I put this? So we're sitting there, we're talking about stuff, and then I'm going through my timeline and I'm getting him things. I'm letting him know like what's going on. So I've had the symptoms that I've had. I've got shortness of breath. I have, so this is TMI, but I pee a lot, which is a common symptom seen with MS. So I literally will go pee and then I'm like, I wipe, ready to get up, and then I go pee again. Like, just like that. And sometimes 2 and 3 times in a row. So my bladder is not emptying properly, obviously. And so the shortness of breath is getting really bad. Like, I've had to double up on my Addison's medication every couple of weeks, it feels like now, because as soon as it starts coming back, I'm just like, I can't do anything. I cannot do anything. I literally cannot walk from the bedroom to the living room without like having to just sit there for a couple minutes, catch my breath, and then lay down and take like a good 10-20 minutes to recover from the walk. Like, it's so bad. I can't stand and make dinner. I like, the whole time I'm making dinner, I'm like, okay, and I'm like bracing onto things, and oops, I'm like moving around, I'm like bracing onto things, and I'm like keeling over. I don't have any energy to do anything. It's taking a lot out of me, and sometimes it gets to the point where it's like I can't breathe so badly that my eyes, like, everything just goes black for a second, and I have to like really like. So as soon as I start feeling those like the shortness of breath coming on now, I'm like, I need to start doubling up on my pills, because I can't handle that. It's not fun. I can't do anything. I can't take my dog out for a walk. I can't make dinner, like I said. I can't fucking stand in the shower. Like, it's just really, really frustrating. And then the day after, when I mentioned about, or when we did our update there the last time, I ended up with a pain in my neck right back here. And so immediately I'm like, well, frig, it's obviously connected to the demyelination or whatever that's going on there. And I literally could not like move my head. I couldn't like do anything. I had the magic bag stuck to me for the whole time. It was just like awful. Just in pain. Advil helped. Advil made me feel like a little bit of a normal person. I could do some things. The THC cream that I had helped as well. It's like a menthol kind of a thing. It almost felt like a what's that called? Icy cold or icy hot, whatever the hell it's called for your muscles. You know, it was good. And yeah, so I just thought, well, it almost felt like my brain was like, oh, you know about this now? Okay, let's make that happen. Okay. So it did end up going away though, which was great. And I haven't had it since. So I know I've read up on symptoms for MS, and that if you have pains and stuff like that, they're all over the place. You can never tell what's going to happen. You never know where they're going to be. Yeah, it's just all up in the air all the time. So, okay, back to neurologists. So we're talking about these symptoms that are going on with me. And of course I can't sleep and stuff too. I'm taking like extra cortisol, so that's keeping me up at night. Like, I literally cannot sleep at all. The other day, I think I maybe had an hour, maybe. And then I just stayed up all day and all night again because I couldn't sleep. Like, I literally can't sleep. It's the worst. I have restless leg syndrome, I have asthma, I have all this other stuff going on too, right? So like, and with the Addison's disease, a lot of symptoms. So, what the neurologist thinks, and of course it was me that was saying it was MS, so he was getting all like annoyed that I had mentioned it, and I'm like, she said the word, I didn't just come up with this out of the blue, I don't want to have it, like, I do not want to have it, thank you. And he was like, well, she mentioned it because it's on the MRI. And I'm like, well, why are you saying that I'm the one that like I could not. And I even asked Greg, so I was like, sometimes maybe I'm like, maybe I come off as like, I don't know, like maybe I'm being too defensive because I've had such issues with doctors before. And I asked Greg if he felt the same way, and he was like, yeah, he was totally doing that. And what really kind of pissed me off too is that like he did like an examination on me afterwards, like it was like moving all my things, everything around, doing all the and that kind of stuff, like with the like doing all the, what is it called, your pressure points, you know, where they like make you go. Yeah, so he's doing all that, and I noticed he was picking up my legs and like dropping them, picking up, dropping, picking up, dropping. I'm like, what is he doing? He's especially looking at my left leg. And I'm like, okay, something's gonna come out of this, I'm sure. And he sat me up and he's like, have you noticed? And he's like, can I get you to walk around the room? And I'm like, sure. So I walk around, and then I come to sit down again. He's like, yeah, so have you noticed, like, you haven't noticed a change in your legs since like I don't know, since in the past year or so? No? You don't notice any weirdness in your walk and your gait? Nope. I'm looking at Greg. I'm like, Greg, do I walk funny, like, compared to what I did before? And he's like, no. Like, I even did it in the mirror the other day. So I was like, what am I doing? What is different? I can't see it. I don't see anything. Yeah, so he says that my leg is worse than my hand. And I'm like, I don't even see anything in my leg, so I don't understand how it could be worse. It doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with it. It's a little like my muscles were sore the other day. Like, that's about it. I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with the leg, but fine. You're the doctor. You know what you're talking about. So that was, but it was just like, doctors are really annoying. And I just like, I will go through all of that if you guys want me to, but I'm not going to do it right now just because it's going to make this video way too long, first of all. And second of all, it takes a little bit for me to, like, I get really angry when I think about it too much. So just because I want to go back and be like, I wish I had said this. I wish I had done this. I wish I had done this. I'm doing this the next time I go in there. You know, I'm not going to do it because I don't do that kind of stuff. But yeah. So anyways, so he says to me that he wants to get another MRI done. He wants to look at my brain again with dye this time. He wants to, because MRI, MS is not diagnosed usually through the neck. That was his big thing. If you see the demyelination in the neck, he's like 90% of the time it's not going to be MS. And I was like, okay. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Like, she said the word, and I said, I'm telling you that's what she said. Yeah, so he's like, so yeah, we're gonna go. I think that what this is something bigger. So yay, yay me. He's like, I think this, whatever this is causing your Addison's disease, has caused the Addison's disease. And we need to do some testing to find out what it is. And he threw around a lot of words. So we're looking at lupus. We're looking at, I just need a second. Okay, sorry. So we are looking at lupus, sarcoidosis. We're looking at a B12 deficiency, possibly. We're also looking into MS, of course, because we need to rule that out. If that's the case, or maybe it is the MS that's causing all this. I don't know. It could eventually just be that, right? So yeah. So that's where we're at right now. So we're going to go and get some tests done. I've got my blood test booked in for next week. So next Wednesday, I go in for blood tests. Next Tuesday evening, I go in for an MRI. The CAT scan people called me, and I called them back, but only got their voicemail, and I didn't leave one because it was just like literally 5 minutes after that she, like, no, it was like an hour later or something that I called, and I didn't want to leave a message because I figured they'd give a call back. And they haven't. So I'll call Monday, get that set up, and then we'll go from there. So dealing with all this, like, has been really hard on the brain, like really hard. I'm gonna try not to do this. Try not to cry while I'm talking about this. So yeah, it's been rough. This whole week I've just been like going over the the visit in my head. And I just need another minute. Okay. So yeah, just kind of like going over the visit in my head and trying to figure out, you know, like and like randomly asking questions out of the blue to poor Greg, who's had to listen to me go on about this all week. But he was there for the appointment, so it was nice to have that. Somebody else there. So yeah, it was nice to have that the second opinion on like how I was taking things, I guess, and seeing if he felt the same way. And I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm coming off as defensive or what it is. Like I did mention, the only thing I mentioned, I usually bring up the the crappy doctors that I've had in the past, because I'm like, please don't do this again to me. When we talked about the diagnosis, he asked me a question and I was like, I have no idea what you're even talking about. Like, I have no, like, all he said. So what he asked me was, did you get a test for the antibodies for Addison's disease? And I was like, yep. And it came back positive for Addison's. And he's like, and then what did the doctor say about that? And I was like, nothing. He's like, he didn't tell you anything about it, or he didn't explain anything? No, he did not. Okay. I'm like, yeah, he was a terrible doctor. He was so bad. Okay. Yeah, so it's been tough. It has been tough on your girl. And yeah. I also like probably have perimenopause, and you know, like whatever's going on with me is probably causing issues with my mental health as well, because that's what happens, you know, usually. And and I know maybe most people know this, especially people with chronic illnesses will know this. You can have, when you're diagnosed with one chronic illness, you're usually going to be diagnosed with another at some point in your life, if not 2 or 3. Like, it just, because your body starts attacking things, thinking that they're like bad, but they're not. Yeah. But yeah, so that is where we're at right now with everything. I know this is kind of a crazy video. I'm all over the place, and I'm like, it's just been a lot for me. It really has. And I've had like some very nice people trying to help me out throughout this, but right now I'm just like, I just need to be alone. I just need to figure this out on my own, and I shouldn't be like that, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what else to do other than just whatever they're asking me to do and just roll with it. I do not want to go for another MRI. I'm not looking forward to that at all. It's going to be I'm going to take some Ativan before I go this time, because yeah, that was too much for me last time. Yeah, so I got to do that. CAT scan I've done before. It just it makes you feel like you pee yourself if you do it anywhere like around the mid part of your body, which is weird. Like, you literally get warm. You feel like you've peed. It's so strange. So, good things that I found out throughout this process. I did find out that you can get this like My Health profile or whatever, My Health MB or something like that. And if you can go through either SMB or go to the people or get it done at the hospital when you go to get blood work done. So I'm going to bring my or get them to give me the code when I go in to do that, because you need a registration code, and that's what you have to go to SMB for. But if you're getting blood work done and stuff like that, or any CAT scans, MRIs, any kind of tests like that, you can go in and get it done there. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. Get them to give you a registration code and they can do it there. Yeah, so that My Health thing is cool. My daughter had mentioned it, that she had heard about that, and then my partner Greg had mentioned that somebody at work had told him about it as well. So I was like, I'm gonna have to look into this, and then I did, and then we found out that you can do it get the registration code from Bloodworks. So I was like, oh, I'm going next week, so let's do that. And that way you can look up all of your results and things. There were some questions I wanted to, that I was like, what the hell is going on with my hand, first of all? Like, what? There was that. And then I wanted to know, like, I had some blood work done in the summer, like late summer, early fall, and it came back with like the hemoglobins were low, something was low and something else was low, and she prescribed me all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, iron, yeah. And nobody ever said anything again about that. Like, and I'm still taking iron supplements. Nobody ever like, I was like, do I just take them forever now? Is that my life? Like, yeah. So I was like, can I get some information about that? Like, what is the deal with it? And then why would the doctor that I had that took over for Dr. Christopherson while he was out in last year in the fall, like just for a week or whatever, she prescribed me vitamin D, and I have no idea why she did that. Nobody has any idea why she prescribed me the vitamin D. I'm still taking it because I stopped taking it, and then I started getting short of breath again. So I was like, maybe that's what it is. But no, it's not. Like, vitamin D deficiency doesn't make you short of breath. So yeah. So I'm like, can I get some answers on that? And nobody ever told me. So I don't know. I'm going to go in and look at the numbers myself and figure it out myself, because that's what you have to do. Like, you have to advocate for yourself this day and age. Like, you cannot, like, I just feel so bad for people that don't have the, what's the word I want to say? Maybe don't question it, or don't, you know what I mean? They just take whatever the doctors say and roll. I'm always questioning what's going on. Why are you saying that? Because I have caught doctors in mistakes, and I am the one that came up with the diagnosis for Addison's disease, so not a doctor. So for the most part, it's just been so awful. Like, it's just been awful. You need to advocate for yourself. Keep fighting, because you're important. You know what's going on with your body, and you know if there's something wrong, and you're important, and you need to use your voice and to let them know. And if you can't get any answers, then go and see if you can get somebody else to have a look, because it's not right. You need somebody else to have a look. If you know there's something going on, you need to advocate for yourself. So I'm all over the place. I know there's like so much more that, oh yes, I wanted to mention this too. This is the last thing, and then I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll talk about like other stuff later. So I asked him, because I was like, my fingers still don't work. What can I do? Like, nobody is giving me any kind of like instruction on what I should do about this. Like, no, there's no exercises, nothing. Like, I've gotten nothing from anyone. No, put it in a brace, no, nothing. So these two fingers don't work well at all. Look at them. They're like totally messed up. And I have so much tremors and everything going on in my fingers on this hand. I'm getting pains like all in here too. Like, it's so weird. And I know it's probably because I'm like, maybe, what's the word that I want to use? And this is another thing. Like, I have brain fog so bad. So you guys probably think I'm so like, wow, she's losing it. She's not smart anymore. Like, what happened to her? I can't think of words ever. I have brain fog. I have ADHD. I have like everything. So if you see me struggling for words all the time, that is why. Yeah. So, yeah, I can't even remember what word I was trying to figure out. See, like, it's terrible. Yeah. It's just been a time, you guys. Like, I don't even know how I'm like managing right now, but I'm not working. So that is a good thing, because I don't know if I could do work on top of all this, with the appointments and the stress and everything else. There's more to the stress. I have more to the story, but I don't want to completely like inundate you guys with information. So I'll keep you guys updated on anything that comes up, that I guess moves along my my diagnosis or whatever. Yeah. I hope you guys are all having an awesome weekend. I'm sorry to give you this terrible, like, awful video on it's probably gonna come out tomorrow, so on a Sunday. Yeah. But I'm trying my best to hang in there, and I'm trying my best to keep positive and to keep moving on, and just got a little too much in my head this week. So, yeah. So things will get better, and as we get answers and possibly a diagnosis and treatment, things will get better. I just keep looking towards that. All right, so before I keep saying things, because I keep thinking of things and saying it, I'm going to let you guys all back to your weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. I love you guys. And we'll talk soon. Bye.